Did Congress introduce a bill that would legally require people to get a vaccine for COVID-19? That claim has been going around on social media. Our Jason Puckett verifies.
A few of you sent us this post. It claims Congress introduced Bill H.R. 6666, which gives $100 billion to schools, churches, and medical buildings, with a catch. To receive the money, they have to agree to, quote, only allow people in their facilities that have the COVID-19 vaccination are tested and tracked. To start, H.R. 6666 is a real bill. Congress.gov shows that it was introduced to the House of Representatives on May 1st. So far, there have been no actions on it. So it is real, but we're verifying, does H.R. 6666 require people to get vaccinated for COVID-19? Our main source is the bill itself. H.R. 6666 is only 5 pages long. If passed, it would let the Secretary of Health and Human Services award grants to help with COVID-19 testing. Eligible groups include health centers, school health clinics, nonprofits, high schools, and more. The bill would set aside $100 billion for this purpose. So there's a nugget of truth in this claim. H.R. 6666 would have $100 billion to help these groups. But the link to vaccines is seemingly made up. There's not a single mention of vaccines in the text, period. The only requirements in the bill are that groups use the money for training, hiring, or purchasing medical equipment. That means we can verify the claim that H.R. 6666 would require people get vaccinated against COVID-19 is false. If you've got other claims for us to look into, send us an email. With your Verify, I'm Jason Puckett.